If you run a coaching, consulting or agency business, the following 6 agents will completely change your life. They will increase your profit and increase your revenue. So AI and data will be the next mode for your business because it will allow you to better understand your customers, their desires, their pains, their wants, and you can increase that in your marketing, your sales process, your delivery. And at the end of the day, it will make you more revenue, more profit, and it will save you a lot more time and you will have to hire a lot less people. So if you don't know me, my name is Thomas, and for the past 4 years I've generated more than 50 million for coaches, consultants, agencies and SMBs through front and back end systems that were focused on increasing revenue and profit for companies. So in this video I'll cover the 6 agents you can implement today in your business that will make you more money, revenue and save you a lot of time. But before we dive in, I want to explain a little bit more about an agent, how an agent works and how you can use it later on. So you are probably familiar with AI. You use ChatGPT, Claude, maybe even the agent within the Claude terminal itself, and you ask it a question, like basically write me a script, create my email marketing, do an ideation, scrape the competitors that I have, and it will give you input, it will give you information. The information will make sense, but not for your business, because the agent and the AI doesn't understand who you are, who your business is, what you actually need, what your customers are, what their pain points are and desires. So the content is good, but not for you. And then you give the AI the blame that AI is shit, it doesn't work, it will never be able to replace you. But there you're wrong, because an agent is able to replace you if you know how to create one. So an agent consists of 5 different parts, beginning with the trigger. The trigger is basically something that activates the agent. It's a time-based trigger, basically 7 a.m. every morning, every week on a Friday, every month. Then you also have event-based triggers. When a call is created, call ended, payment failed, customer submitted the net promoter score, whatever it is, an event happens and the agent can run on that. And then you also have manual triggers, which is you asking the agent the question you wanted to activate one. The second part of an agent is the context. It needs to understand you, your business, your offer, your voice, your ISP, to have a better understanding of who you are and your business's data. And when you have a single source of truth with all unified business data living in one place, so ads, DMs, payments, contracts, calendar, CRM, everything together in one unified data system, then the AI is able to read it, have a very good understanding of who you are, your business and your customer, and from there on you have better responses already. So the context also gives you rules and the guidelines or guidelines and reach your live business data. And from there it goes into the process. And this is like a large language model, which is ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you might be using. And it pulls only the data that it needs. It can analyze, sort, decide, write, create. It applies your context and your rules. And there's a possibility for a human in the loop if you need to check or improve something in the process itself. And then after the process, there will be an output. The output will be a document, Slack, Gmail, in your CRM, in your dashboarding, basically somewhere where the information can be, or it can hand it over to another agent. And then you can take action by sending, drafting, booking, reading the information and interacting with it. And you can approve what matters. And the last part of an agent, what makes it so valuable and what most people even forget, is the memory. It learns and compounds the system and makes a self-learning agent which will improve over time. So it saves what it did, what happened, it learns on the outputs that it generated, also on if you approve it or not. It writes results back to the data layer itself underneath, and the next run reads its own history and will improve on the next run. So when you combine everything in a unified data layer, you have a business intelligence, and when you put agents on top of it, agents can work for you 24/7, where normal employees work 9 to 5, or maybe if you're in our space, maybe 12 hours a day, but still, they don't have the output as an agent is able to have, and also not the accuracy as an agent can have. So now you know how an agent works. Let me show you how to implement 6 agents today that will save you more time and generate more revenue. So the first agent we will be covering is the Ideation Agent. As a business owner, majority of our time is spent on marketing, creating new ideas, creating new content, maybe email marketing, it's organic marketing, paid marketing. And when we sit down, we have to question, okay, what is the new content I need to create? Give me an idea for a new email, whatever it is. And you struggle to sit down and generate new concepts from scratch. Maybe you even have a database or you have your own content already, but you review the content and you can't really track the performance or what's working well. And when you have the Ideation Agent in place, it will kill all of that because it can scan your own, your competitors and the marketing content on what's performing well. It will check your own content of what you've already been posting. It can find the gaps of things you haven't posted yet and there's an opportunity for you to post. And it will pull in all the objections and delivery questions, which other agents will cover later on. And based on that, it can give you a predicted booked call impact and can give you new ideas. And the agent itself better understands you, your customer, their desires, their pain points. So every piece of content will be better because you have all the data in one place. And then the question, okay, where does it get the objections and the delivery questions from? There we go into the second agent. Agent 2 is the Objection Intelligence Agent. Basically, in your company, there's already a lot of data, especially in the sales process and in the marketing process. Your leads are already there. They are in your DMs, they request lead magnets, they are on closing calls. And in the closing calls, they have objections, questions, things they struggle with, or things they don't know. And all that information, it tells you what your customer is missing. And then you can give that to your marketing data for your ideation to have literal objections be pre-handled already in pre-call sequences or in your content. But currently, you don't really review your calls. You maybe review the closers' calls, but you don't really analyze all the objections because there's a large volume of calls, and I will do the same thing because it's fucking annoying to go through everything. So the Objection Intelligence Agents handle that for you. It'll go through all the calls, will reroute every piece of information. It will store it in the Pinecone database, so you can always access it with the AI agent itself. And the agent handles it to the other agent for the ideation. So you always have the exact pain points, objections pre-handled to improve your customer understanding. So the things that used to stop leads from buying from you are now already handled through the objection videos. Your leads will be warmer on the videos, your closing rate will be higher, your show rate will be higher, and overall you will make more money. And those same calls do one more thing for you, and that brings us to Call Coaching Agent. You probably have closers already taking calls, or you even take the calls yourself, and it's a large volume of calls to actually process, to handle and give feedback on, especially when you're growing and your focus is all over the place and you already have a little bit of time. That's when you implement the Call Coaching Agent. Basically what it does, it transcribes and scores the calls against a framework that you and your closers run. It can flag key moments in it, like the opening, the pitch, the reframe, the gap, whatever you use for a framework. It can spot where the closer is leaving behind and how they can improve themselves. So then it writes a concise, actionable feedback, and then it drops it into the CRM against the deal, and it can send it into Slack for the closer directly after the call within like 1 minute for the improvements. And they can take those improvements into the next call to also increase their closing rate. So instead of spending your one-on-one with your closers on shit that doesn't really matter, you now have a clear overview of the things they struggle with also, and you can save their time and your time by actually focusing on things that matter most for them to improve on. So sales calls aren't the only calls that you have within your organization. You also have coaching calls and onboarding calls. So the fourth agent is the delivery signal agent. Basically what it does is when someone is onboarded, you have coaching calls, and in the community Slack channels, Discord channel, whatever you use for client communication. All these communication platforms have data which you can use in the front end of the business, because they will ask questions in onboarding, they leave behind what made them convert, if you have a proper onboarding sequence in place. In your coaching and delivery calls, they will ask you questions, things they struggle with, things they don't experience. So what it will allow you to do is use that information in your front end for the marketing assets, so the customer even feels better understood with the questions that are going through their heads. And you can also improve delivery, see how well coaches are performing, all based on the data that's already there. So how it works is it captures the client questions and friction points across the delivery. It can cluster and sort them out, and same in the Pinecone database. Feed the themes to the ideation agent as content that pre-answers them, and flag where delivery or program itself needs fixing. So your program gets better, your content is improved, and basically overall you have more client satisfaction. And the client satisfaction brings us to the other agent, which is the Upsell Agent. Currently there's a lot of missed revenue within your business because at the end of the day you've already closed the deal, and you can increase lifetime value by upselling them and using them as testimonials. So what this agent does, it watches each client's progress and results through the calls and communication that you have. It detects when they arrive for an upsell, when they hit a certain outcome, certain revenue number or certain result, and then it detects the win moment worth testimonial, and then you can flag it to the founder with context before the moment passes. Because most of the time a testimonial needs to be recorded within the same period that it is taking place in. If you do it 1, 2, 3 weeks later, their emotional high can be gone and they don't want to do it. And same for the upsell, you want to upsell them the moment they are extremely hyped. The moment they have the results, you want to go there, hey, I got a special offer for you, we can increase this, we can do that, we can upsell, cross-sell, whatever you do. Increase the lifetime value while they're happy with you and with your product. So that's the 5 agents doing their thing, and then you want one more agent that oversees everything. And we call it the COO agent. Basically what it does, it reads the performance from yesterday across the calls, the cash, the delivery, basically everything that happens within your business. It compares against the targets and the baseline that you have for itself. It will serve anomalies, Maybe you have a spend problem, maybe you don't spend enough, maybe there was too much spent, maybe the show rate drops, there's a cash gap, whatever it is, this agent will spot it for you. It will read all the other agents' data, and then it will compile it all in one concise briefing, plus today's number one priority and thing you need to focus on. So when we put everything together, you know what to post about, what resonates with your audience, what's happening in your closing calls, how you can improve show rate, closing rate, what objections are there, when people are ready to buy, when they're ready to give testimonials. But here's the real thing that it all runs underneath, and that's a single source of truth. Basically every data point of your business in one place. Most of the time we use a single CRM with all customer data inside of it. And we'll also pull in the ads, the DMs, the payments, the contracts, the calendar, the call recordings, your Google Sheet data, your Slack and your Discord. So there's one unified data layer which allows the AI to run in your business. Because that's what it's really come down to, is having clarity. Knowing where to focus on, what to improve in your business. And on top of that, have an AI system that runs the business for you. And that's when you stop guessing and living in an unpredictable world, and you have a business that moves forward with clarity and precision. So if you're not sure where you're stuck, or your data is all over the place and you don't have any clarity, or you just need a CRM that allows all data to be unified, so your ad, your appointment setting, your closing, your delivery, all in one place with contact creation, payment links, etc. Schedule in an audit call down below. I'll look in your business. We find the number one constraint currently holding your business back, and what systems and AI agents can be implemented for you to scale with more clarity. Worst case scenario, you know exactly what to do. So schedule in the audit call down below this video, and I'll see you there.